Let's go! You!
Yeah, let's go, boys. Let's go. Ascendance of Bookworm, boys, is back. More Mine is coming. I could not be more excited. Holy crap. Part 3 is being adapted for Ascendance of Bookworm, and my gosh, where do I start? I gotta shut up. I just literally just woke up and I get this news and I can't. And not only that, Wit Studio is taking over. That's, I think, the biggest shock. But let's go. I'm so freaking happy. This is one of those series that whenever there's like crickets going on around it, and I'm like, come on, I thought that was successful. I thought that they were doing really good with this series. Why wouldn't they have another anime? It looks like it's doing really well. The series itself is doing really well. So why wouldn't they get another adaptation? And honestly, with the crickets, I got scared. And last night, before I went to bed, it's always like I go to bed and then I wake up the next day and then suddenly all the announcements are out. But no, last night there was a leak going out. And I'm like, that doesn't make any sense. Now, it made sense that the leak came out at that time because we have the next volumes coming up. This next volume of Ascendance Bookworm is actually releasing. And yeah, the assumption is that maybe on the cover of it, they would probably have a wraparound that says, you know, anime announcement. But the thing that was troubling about it was that all the leaks were saying that it was going to be Wit Studio taking over. And it's like, okay, I'm okay with Wit Studio taking over. There's a side of me that kind of doesn't want them to. I think Ajia-Do does a great job. I mean, yeah, I'll take Wit Studio. But always changing studios is questionable to me because sometimes it changes the style a little bit and then it looks different. Now, granted, there's quite a setting change that we're going to be having here, obviously, for those that have watched the series. There's a significant change in setting, and so yeah, there's going to be things that are going to be changing in general. So I'm not gonna jump the gun and say they messed something up. But Wit Studio, yeah, they have claimed here recently that they're trying to get away from action stuff. I think when they gave up Attack on Titan, I believe there was a statement by them that they wanted to get away from like heavy action stuff. And Ranking of Kings was like that first case of that. When they went into Ranking of Kings, it felt very subtle. Now, they had a great style to that. They still had great animation scenes in that. There's still a lot of crazy action scenes. So don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that Ranking of Kings was like this. I mean, it was a massive step back from Attack on Titan, let's be honest. But it was a change for them. And so it doesn't surprise me too much that if they go into something like Ascendance of Bookworm, that it would be something a lot more subtle. Now, I've heard there's a lot more uses of magic and whatnot in this coming part that could possibly be using that, in which, yes, I can agree, Ajia-Do is not the greatest people in the world. Whenever it came to the idea of Ajia-Do giving up the series, I've thought they've done a great job so far. I don't think Ajia-Do is a great studio. They're kind of like, for me, they're kind of like a 6 or a 7 out of 10. Like, sometimes I'll bump up to 7. Most of the time, they're down at 6. They're not a Ufotable. They're not a Wit Studio. They're not a crazy high production values type of studio. They're a studio that keeps it consistently good and nothing more. So with Ascendance of Bookworm, as much as I loved it, I've been fine with that because I'm like, okay, as long as it's good, it's keeping good. It's not dying. It's not having overly terrible wonky character designs or anything like that. I understand what's on the screen. It never has those points where suddenly I go, ugh. Like, there's a lot of studios that do that. Like Maho Films, constantly I'm going, ugh. Those moments where the character design or something like that, something messes up animation-wise and it pulls you out of the experience. Ajia-Do has not really done that. They kept it consistently good. And like I said, I've from all accounts, I thought that it was doing very well for them as a studio having Ascendance Bookworm because it's such a popular franchise, and I thought they would keep to it. So there's a possibility that Ajia-Do, there's several possibilities here, and I don't know what the answer is. I don't know if we'll ever get the answer. It could be that Ajia-Do, maybe they're tied up. Maybe they're done with working on it. Maybe they wanted to move on to another group. Maybe because of how popular it has been getting, they want a bigger studio to handle it. Maybe Wit Studio finally opened up and they're like, yeah, we'll do it for that cost. And they just took that opportunity. There's a lot of reasons why they could have changed studios. But yes, you would assume that Wit Studio is probably going to be a little bit more expensive for them to go with, or they may want more money, Or again, they may have just had an opening. I'm not saying that Wit Studio is taking lots more money than most other studios. I would assume more than Ajia-Do. So there's got to be a lot of different reasons. And I think the core reason there is possibly the popularity. Possibly they're getting to a point right now where they feel like Wit Studio's style can do better with it. Who knows? But like I said, going back to my original statement, when I seen that leak, I was like, of all of that, like I see it getting another season. I see it being announced here soon, yes, with the novel coming out. But the one thing that I cannot follow is Wit Studio. That it just seems weird. One being, yes, that technically Wit Studio is pretty tied up right now. I mean, you assume, yes, technically Spy Family's done. I mean, they have another movie coming out. They have the Pretender movie. They have, and then they have 2 other series. They have the Suicide Squad Isekai, and then they have that other series, Moon something else. So they have quite a bit of stuff already tied up. So we'll see when this actually comes out. My assumption is it could be a series coming out maybe way late 2024, but it because of how tied up they are, it might actually be a 2025. They haven't really been punching out that many shows in succession. So they do take, but they're not MAPPA here. They're not pushing out a show every season that has crazy production values. But still, yes, I went to bed thinking, okay, well, we'll wait until the 9th. I thought that it was the 9th that it was coming out, and I seen another date that said the 6th. I should have seen that one. Went to bed, wake up. Okay, never mind. They announced it like an hour after I went to bed. And so here we are. Here we are. I'm super happy. Could not be more excited. I absolutely love this series. This is the part where we're going to start getting into part 3. And that's the interesting thing as well, is I think there's like 6 parts to part 3. I think the first two parts had 4 parts, or 4 volumes. So part 1, 4 volumes. Part 2, 4 volumes. This one I think is 6 volumes. So maybe that's another reason why it may have gone to Wit, so they can handle something a little bit longer. I would assume they probably cut some content from the part 2 because of how many episodes they work for it. I don't know. We'll see that. Hopefully that kind of works out with Wit handling that. If it's going to be a longer series, hopefully we get a longer anime series to go with it so that it doesn't have any cut content. Maybe a 2 core, or maybe they might do a part 1 and then part 2 later on. That's probably the more likely. They'll do a part 3, part 1, and then a part 3, part 2. Gosh dang it, I'm already applying those stupid naming schemes to one of my beloved series. They're already doing it with Mushoku Tensei, you might as well. But I could not be more happier. For those that are like, what the hell is this series? It is a absolutely fantastic isekai series following a girl that gets transported into another world. She's a bookworm, but she's put in a calmer area, and then she has to kind of make her own books. And then she gets caught up in the church itself, and now it's getting into something else. It's just kind of one of those series, and it's pretty much based on the parts, which is to credit of what we're telling here is part 1 being pretty much the starting point. I like that every single part, it really does feel like the writer is just taking the character and just throwing them somewhere else. Like, you get comfortable, throw you over here. Okay, I'm comfortable again, throw you over here. Like, that's literally what this writer does, and I like it. Like, it every time it moves, I think that it's a bad thing, because I'm like, but I like what we're doing right here. I like how comfortable she is right now. But whenever it shifts to another location, it has a different story to tell, while it's still presenting that other thing. Like, it's not as if the writer forgets about something, and it just adds new elements to it that she has to kind of juggle. And it always shifts the narrative just a little bit that I really, really love. So I can't get enough of it, and I am, like I said, we had like, what? I guess it's only been about a year since we had the last season out, but it's kind of one of those series that the more months that I go by, the more I'm afraid that this is going to be one of those series that just kind of stops. Like they don't continue it, they don't finish the adaptation, they just stop. And that's not something I want for Ascendance Bookworm. Now, again, I have technically the novel series, and I do plan on reading through all this stuff, and I cannot wait to read through it. I'm really, with this coming out, I'm going to be like more so than ever wanting to go to this after Mushoku Tensei, and I finish the analysis of that show, or that series. It is a series that I cannot wait to dive into. And I've been enjoying the anime series, and I don't really feel like it's, hopefully won't take too much from the series. But this might push me. This might push me to go there sooner. Do some skip content videos for it. It's going to be a lot of fun to go through skip content videos, because I've heard a lot of tidbits here and there that this series has done in the novel series that the anime hasn't quite done. And again, I'm understandable of a lot of stuff. There's some things that I think break the story when they don't include it, but I don't know. We'll see with Ascendance Bookworm. But anyways, I have been rambling on. I was like, I'm just going to make a quick 3-minute video. And I just can't shut up about Ascendance Bookworm. I love this series. I am super freaking happy. Let's go. Let's go. Mine is back. Mine is back. Hopefully it's a Monday airing. I don't remember what day that was airing on. I think it was Monday. I don't think so. I forget what day it aired on, but we'll see. We'll see. I'm super excited. We have literally no other information for it. We don't have episode count. We don't have airing date. We don't have airing year. We don't have anything else. We just have Wit Studio, and it's going to be part 3, which duh, because that's the next part. Anyhow, that gush. I'm so excited. Let's go, people. Mine is coming back. I cannot wait. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. As always, if you did, make sure that like button down below, comment, let me know if you're excited. Tell me you're excited. If you're not excited, then keep your mouth shut. I don't want to hear it. But yeah, let me know down below. Just in time for it coming around, we have my Delia mine picture right here. I cannot wait. Super great. But yeah, hope you guys enjoy this video as always. If you like this content, you want to support the channel more, I have a Patreon link, tips link, super thanks, membership button down below. Greatly appreciate everybody does, and y'all take care.